This place will in a minute be full of the condensed knowledge of pediatric hearing care from the entire globe. I'm very excited. It's going to be a big day, and I think getting them together in one place and be able to inspire them is a privilege that I'm looking forward to. Welcome to Como, and welcome to the first international symposium on innovative pediatric hearing sciences. We are gathered 110 people approximately from 24 different countries. All of you are part of sort of the thought-leading people in pediatric hearing care. You are the experts who teach others. Who is inspiring you? So we thought, okay, maybe we can facilitate something where you can get some inspiration, some input from outside the normal world of pediatric audiology.
And in this case, we can start asking questions.
What I just talked about was about our auditory attention, how you can maintain focus on one speaker amongst many, and how you could dynamically switch your attention and looking at the cortical dynamics associated with this cognitive process. I speculated in terms of how this could be used in terms of a top-down control in a brain-computer interface realization in a next-generation hearing aid device. I think we're a long way towards that goal, but at least we're trying to measure what the cortical activities that we need to capture so that we can make that a reality.
So, first of all, we've all had the experience of having difficulties understanding speech in the background of other sounds, and it turns out that it's the way different sounds interferes with that perception depends upon what kind of sounds are in the background. So, for example, sounds that are really not very interesting seem to have effects that are very different to those when they're more interesting sounds, like things you want to be listening to.
I think it gives us the answer to this question.
Music is, to me, the most incredible thing in the auditory world, and I call it the pinnacle of hearing. It's the hardest thing there is to hear. My talk was basically about the fact that cochlear implants have been amazing devices, sort of modern miracles of medicine, and they're very good at reestablishing speech, but not so good for music. And so I talked a lot about what it is about music that makes it hard for a cochlear implant user to hear, and what the reasons are for hope and where we might move in the future. That also means that in our rehabilitation and our sort of strategies for how we teach a kid to hear, we should employ music more directly as a tool. And that hasn't been a part of the culture so far, and I think that will change. I think that companies such as Oticon are learning that they have to pay attention to this topic until one day we'll have a pretty reasonable ability to transmit musical information, which will in turn really, I think, revolutionize the way we restore hearing in the hearing impaired population.
Certainly one of the challenges that it's faced by studying hearing development in children is that the etiology of hearing disorders are so variable from one individual to another. The approach that we've taken involves an animal model where we have much more control over the experience of the individual, and this has provided new insights into the nature of the mechanisms by which the brain can adjust to a loss of hearing in one ear. And one of the challenges now is, of course, to transfer that knowledge into a clinical situation.
I've met a few people I haven't met before, which is really a nice thing. I've already heard about some really interesting work about hearing in ferrets. It sounds a bit unlikely, I know, but actually it's made me think quite a bit about the nature of the problems people face when they're in complex listening environments and the different kind of factors that might be operating within them and how we might best try to test them in the laboratory, really with the eventual notion that they could be used in the clinic to try to pinpoint specific difficulties.
I think some of the talks, and probably including mine, it's deliberately provocative. If it generates conversation, that's much more important, and it relieves the pressure of, what can be done in the next 5 years. If it can project what can be done in the next 25, and someone said, oh no, this can't be done, at least there's conversation and we can start talking about what can be done and what can't be done. And is it really that is the case that can't be done, or is it just that we're not there yet?
This first innovative pediatric conference is very important for sharing knowledge between colleagues, and it's a very relaxed atmosphere when you have time to talk.
Interesting topics, excellent speakers, wonderful presentations, and the audience is also wonderful because so many colleagues from so many different countries where you can talk to and share your knowledge. This is really impressive.
You create some kind of relationships between other researchers.
If you come to something like this, and you hear new science coming through, it gives you a moment to stand back and think, what else could I do differently? And actually I had 2 moments like that this morning.
I think there's a good chance that this meeting will give us the possibility of improving pediatric hearing care in the future, to make life for children with hearing loss better, simply by bringing the right people together from all different areas and different countries to work on the same issue, because we do all have the same objective.
This next generation hearing aid might sound like too good to be true. I think we have the philosophy that if we don't try and we don't start, we'll never get there.
Well, I feel good, a little bit tired. It has been a long day, but it has also been extremely interesting, and hopefully tonight we're going to have a great dinner and we can meet under more social terms and continue the discussion. After the success today, I'm sure we will, in 2 years' time, we will see the second International Symposium on Innovative Pediatric Hearing Science.